Okay, we're going to answer questions. We have no statements to make. Anybody got a question?
Why don't you have a statement? I'm just kidding.
Why don't we have a statement?
I'm just kidding.
We just spent 3 friggin' hours making statements, okay? We're done with statements.
Was today's presentation any different from what happened at the Apple?
What happened at the what?
With Chief Justice Toll. What was different?
Yes, it was very different than the hearing in front of Chief Justice Toll. Very different.
In what way?
Well, the questions that were asked, the comments that were made would indicate a different view of the law of evidence and procedure. The court apparently had questions about how she conducted the hearing, the ruling she made. Which could be good, could be bad, but there's no way to predict what's going to happen.
Their questions about Hill were very pointed. Any reaction to the questions that they asked?
We think the court asked very good questions.
Yeah, I've argued up there, can't tell you how many times, but this really is the first time that every justice asked multiple questions. So they were all engaged. They were all, and some of the questions, frankly, dove into a lot of the granular factual details that we did not anticipate. So you could tell that they've studied everything about this case, the trial transcript, the evidence that was presented, and the legal arguments. But I'm like Dick. You can drive yourself crazy reading tea leaves and predicting the outcome. So that's an impossible task. But we felt good about the court's level of engagement.
What do you think your strongest point is? And would you mind stepping in front of the mic when you respond?
What's your strongest point, Dick?
Strongest point. I think the jury tampering by clerk is something they were engaged in. They asked very pointed questions of Creighton Waters. I feel that they're very interested in that. And again, you can't predict what they're going to do, but they were interested in the cases that we talked about. And I think when Phil got back up and they were asking questions about the clerk, and he pointed out she was a self-confessed perjurer, so one of the justices react to that. So I think, look, do I regret anything we did today? No. Am I proud of the arguments we made? Yes. Did we cover everything we needed to cover? I think we did. Phil, you got something to say? No?
No,
okay.
we covered everything.
Is there anything you wish that they then would have asked you about or delved deeper into in their questioning?
I don't think so. If we had had an hour and a half each side, we would have covered the waterfront. But frankly, getting 40 minutes or 50, we had 50 minutes. That's highly unusual. And our goal is to answer their questions, what they are interested in. And so that's really, having done this for many years, I've learned that you win an appeal on your briefs, and our briefs were excellent, thanks to Phil and Maggie, and not so much Dick. But that, and the argument is really where you can step on it and lose the case. And so I don't think, we did any of that. And so, we'll see where it heads.
Or sometimes you find out they're thinking about something you never thought about, and we didn't hear that today.
What do you go back and tell your client? What do you tell Alec now about what happened today?
Did you speak to Alec yet?
Not yet.
No, we will. I would say to him, we had a good argument today. The justices were engaged. They were prepared. They'd read the stuff. They understood the stuff and had very intelligent questions that indicate to me that they're wrestling with the issues we asked them to wrestle with.
How important is this to Alec? He's insisted he's innocent for all this time. Has he kind of put everything, you almost have got to push all your chips in at this point?
Well, as you know, he's not going to get out of jail if we win this. He believes, advocates that he did not kill Maggie and Paul. He believes somebody else did. What?
He knows he didn't do it.
Yeah, he knows.
It's not a belief. So that's what he expresses to us. But frankly, he accepts that he's in prison. doesn't regret being in prison, believe it or not. He's got a very positive attitude. He said he deserved to go to prison for what he did financially, but he can't accept the fact that he was convicted of murdering his wife and son, to which he constantly proclaims his innocence, and we believe him to be innocent as well.
He always has. And of course he says, since I didn't do it, SWED ought to go find who did. And again, one of our problems has been from the get-go. From that night, he was the primary suspect, the only suspect, and they've never really looked at anybody else.
You all had 5 minutes uninterrupted by each justice. What goes into how you strategize, but what goes into those first 5 minutes?
Well, first of all, we didn't know.
We did not
know until we got there, okay? So what I typically do is write 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, we all been in court, in appellate courts, where you get 12 seconds into your so-called prepared statement, and then the questions come.
So yesterday, as we were getting ready, we sort of had a bet going how long it would take for them to interrupt us. And I think over-under was 2 minutes.
Right.
And so when the chief says he'd give us 5 minutes of uninterrupted time, that was good.
Very good. Very, very good.
Appreciate it.
Toward the end of Creighton Waters' argument, the chief is talking about how we had excellent prosecutors, excellent defense attorney, but we had a rogue clerk of court, so even if we accept the truncated version of the trial comments, it's still improper, perhaps not to the point of reversal. He responds and says, that actually proves my point that she was insignificant. Can you respond to that?
I'm not going to argue with Creighton about his position. I would say we respectfully disagree with Creighton's characterization.
If Alec Murdaugh is given another trial, will you all be the ones who defend him?
You know, that's up to Alec, but right now we believe we will be.
And if he isn't, what's the next step?
Federal court.
If you don't,
Today, can you tell me what's next?
No, the Supreme Court's going to tell you what's next.
But
We wait.
they'll rule on their schedule, not our schedule. So
Could be a couple months, could be a year. You don't know.
could be a month.
Could be a month.
Who knows?
So in this law business, you wait for courts to make decisions. It just goes with the territory. If you're in a hurry, don't practice law.
if this appeal is denied, do you feel like it was a stronger case before a federal court, especially with Rimmer?
Well, we got the same case, just a different venue, and
In the Fourth Circuit, the Ebbets case, Evitz or whatever it is, it just came out. Not just came out, but it's right on point. We feel the federal courts would. I believe the way they were asking questions today, they believe that Rimmer's the law here, contrary to what Judge Toll ruled. So
yeah, and I didn't hear the state argue it wasn't the law in the Fourth Circuit. I mean, it wasn't the law in South Carolina, frankly. So
Right.
it was interesting.
If the Supreme Court rules against you, what's next?
Just agree.
Yeah, the next legal avenue is federal court, federal habeas. All right, gang.
any other questions? No questions. Then we will bid you fond adieu until next time. And there probably will be a next time.
Has anybody heard Dick Arputian has a book out? Dig Me a Grave. Highly recommended.
At your local bookstore or on Amazon or
Or you can get it on Kindle or
Kindle. You get. And by the way,
No,
if
you
you buy
you read it.
the audio book,
Audio. That's right.
we hired a guy to read it who's extraordinary. And
I thought you read it.
I did.
Okay.
So if the last thing you want to hear at night is me, buy the audio book.
All right. Thank you all.
I'm in demand. Thanks.
Well, you just heard from Alec Murdaugh's defense team after a fairly lengthy appeal hearing in front of the South Carolina Supreme Court this morning. Again, we need to note a judge has not made a final decision. No set timeline on that final decision has come down yet. but his defense team spent about 15-20 minutes taking questions. I should also note that we do have a crew in Columbia this afternoon who are, you saw their camera feed. Our Aaron Dixon will have plenty more updates throughout this afternoon and this evening regarding this most recent development in the Alec Murdaugh ongoing trial and now appeals in this sense.